as the two Ballydoyle horses go forward for what is a very small but certainly intriguing King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, sponsored by QIPCO. Your big race caller is Richard Hoyles.
And Japan is last of the trio forward then for the King George of 2020. And the three runners are loaded into the stalls, and they're off and racing. Keep an eye on Sovereign, pink jacket. Exactly see where William Buick decides to go. The early pace not frenetic, but Sovereign is moving forward, and Japan and Enable are side by side as they run downhill, and Sovereign is going to cross over and take the lead. And at the moment, Japan and Enable half a length between the two. Japan just keeping Enable off the running rail as now Sovereign begins to find his rhythm on the descent. So Sovereign just picking the pace up now as they run downhill. Frankie Dettori slots into second, and Japan is going to stalk Enable, it would appear, as Sovereign. But by no means a breakneck gallop here. Enable in second place is holding her position comfortably enough. If anything, Japan's as free in third, as Sovereign will lead the turn at Swinley Bottom in this rain, and leading now by about 2 or 3 lengths. So the scenario that most expected is for Sovereign to go clear here, try and just force Frankie Dettori to decide when to chase on Enable, whilst all the time Japan just stalks her, looking to pick her off if Frankie times it wrong. So Sovereign now galloping on, passes the 7 furlong point in the hands of William Buick, leading by about 4 or 5 lengths, and this is when we start steadily uphill at Ascot. In second place, Enable, and Japan content just to sit in third as Sovereign is chivied along now, and those early steady fractions are being replaced now by solid gallops as they climb uphill into the rain, and Sovereign's advantage has grown to 6 or 7 lengths. And this is when Frankie Dettori has to decide when to close down. Japan is in third place as they make their way now towards the swinging turn. It'll bring them back towards home. Sovereign still 6 lengths clear, but having to be pushed along to retain that advantage. That'll encourage Frankie that he can sit and gather in the leader, but there's still 6 or 7 lengths between them, and still Japan just sits on Enable's tail. So Sovereign turns for home, leading by 5 or 6 lengths. Here's the bell. Enable in second place, and in third Japan. Frankie just beginning to move forward now on Enable and reduce the deficit, and Japan at the moment is struggling to lie up with Enable. The goggles come down, a contemptuous glance behind as Enable moves to Sovereign. Japan is having to work hard. This is the moment when Enable strides to the lead in the King George. Sovereign and Japan have played their parts, but it's now all about one filly carving her name in history. Enable moving away for a record-breaking third King George. Enable beats Sovereign. Japan back in third. Frankie Dettori, John Godson and Khalid Abdullah. Enabled is a 3-times winner of one of the major races in the calendar, and hardly had to break sweat in the race to do so. Enable came clear in the twinkling of an eye. Sovereign held on for second. Japan's disappointed on the day. It may have been a turn out of 3, but we should salute the brilliance and durability of a mare who's now 6 years of age, retains her form. She could now go for 3 arcs. Whatever happens, she'll always be in the history books as a 3-times winner of the King George.
Historic stage, historic race, a historic performance. She's back on her throne. She's a King George history maker. Bruscott.
They tried to break her with a really big, bold front runner, but they broke Japan, and she has broken her way into history. She's a magnificent mare, and she really did it today. She came there with such power. That knockout punch she's got is one that we'll always remember.
And with John Gosden, John, just put that into words for us if you can.
Well, as I said, she's really trained beautifully for this race. And I made it very clear to everyone she wasn't tuned properly for a 1.25 miles at that pace. But the race put her right, and Frankie, I said, just ride her with a lot of confidence. Travel for as long as you can, and she did. And, you know, she's back in top order. There's no doubt about that. We've been thrilled with her at home, so between you and I never expect things like that, but I was expecting to see that, but life can be full of disappointments.
Just finally, you're a real racing historian. She's the first horse ever to win 3 King Georges, such a prestigious race. Just that achievement for you and the team.
I remember, you know, great friends like Angel Penner, or, you know, Zilber, Dahlia, all those great ones that have won it twice, but to win this 3 times, come back from injury as you know, to do it as a 5-year-old, and you know she missed running in as a 4-year-old due to injuries. So she's quite some racemare.
I will follow you because you, like us, want to go and see the man on board. And Frankie Dettori, 3 King Georges. And Frankie, she got a huge, well, I say a huge round of applause, but everyone here would ask a standing ovation. Just how special is she?
She's unbelievable. You know, 6-year-old, and John done a great job to keep her going. And you know, 3 King Georges never been done before, and now we're gonna try the impossible. Go from 3 arcs. I mean, what a horse! I mean, look, what can you say? I mean, that it's no superlative to say how good she is. I love her so much. You know, she's my favourite girl.
I will ask you about her in a moment, but just can you talk to us tactically? Because 3 runners, when you saw that, what was going through your head?
Well, I spoke to John at length this morning. I said, I'm not gonna break a stride.
If we could just take a turn.
Yeah, take another turn, Imran. We're not gonna break a stride, and obviously Japan is the horse to beat, but if he wants to follow me, I have no problems with that. She's very versatile, and yeah, she was amazing, you know. She made it look so easy, and look, she's 6, she's no spring chicken, and to put a performance like that is great.
The world's watching. You're
Yes.
incredibly close to this filly.
Yeah.
She makes you incredibly emotional. For those watching around the world,
Wow.
just sum it up. Why is this filly so special to you of all the greats you've ridden?
Because she's so consistent, and I love her, and it's very sad that I've only got to go there for another couple of months, and yeah, she touched my heart.
Frankie, well done.
Sorry.
An emotional Frankie Dettori, understandably so. It'll probably get lost in this because Enable's a history maker. But Frankie Dettori goes level with Lester Piggott with 7 King Georges. Lester did it between 1965 and 1984. Frankie's first one with 1995 with Lamtara. And you talk about brilliance and durability of the horse Enable. Likewise, the man on board. And there was one moment in the race, Jason, that was incredible. This was like Monjour. He's swinging and then takes a long look round.
Yeah, a little pull down of the goggles. I'm sure when he had a little sneak around, saw Ryan shoving away there. Like, this was literally like riding a piece of work. You've cantered into it. Your job is to get her switched off. It was the early little bit of the race where we had a slight moment of concern where, as expected, Sovereign goes forward. Dettori was going to drop in behind Japan. And then he went, no, I'm not letting him get away. Ryan slotted onto her tail, but you can tell how much the rain has got in. Japan, not as effective under these rain-softened conditions.
That must be the best feeling in the world, as he just casually pulls the goggles down, gets a fresh pair there, has a little look around, says, I got Japan covered and I can feel myself cruising up to Sovereign, got him covered, and then he just asks her to go to the next gears, and this is what it means to him.
Lord Grimthorpe celebrating. And for Khaled Abdullah's team, what a sporting decision to keep her in training at the age of 6. She has won a 3rd King George. And Frankie is flying. I'm sure plenty of you at home feel the same. And no wonder he's got such a bond with this horse, as Ollie asked. Greg Wood wrote in The Guardian today how his most Group 1s on an individual horse was 5 on Fantastic Light and Daylami. That's 11 now. That is more than Tom Queally on Frankel. Not that the two should be compared, but she is brilliant. She's so durable, and I hope everyone at home enjoyed that.
If you backed Enable, maybe you doubled her up with Tsar for John Gosden as well. 4-9 for the hot pot. Sovereign at 12-1 and Japan at 5-2. It is worth remembering, for those who will diss this performance in some ways, an Irish Derby winner got an easy lead there and was made to look very, very ordinary.